All right.
Hail to all. We're ripping this Band-Aid off. Hail to you. How you doing? Well, we just got done in the yard watching the 10th episode of Star Trek Picard. And I were just like basically kind of hitting our heads on the wall, banging our heads on the brick wall there, I got to say. Um, I have Wes Moody and FinalDeathStar with me, and we are the Four Horsemen. Yeah, and it's also late edition because it's late.
Very late.
It is late. What time is
So,
it?
yeah.
1:15 here on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Yes,
1:15.
yeah, 1:15, and apparently we were busy banging our head into the wall trying to figure out what the hell we just got done watching, and we pretty sure we saw some cool moments, but that was well maybe
Few
three
and
cool
far between.
maybe three cool moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two, maybe two. I
Two?
can count.
I'm still at
maybe.
Maybe.
one cool moment.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
cool moment. There's only one cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, I guess in the overall sense, only one moment was ultimately cool and felt like Star Trek. The other moment had potential but didn't make sense, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of a third. It's pretty sad considering that was the finale of the show, and we can't even think of of more than one or two moments.
I'm still
Hail,
trying to
random
unpack
Brad.
it.
hell,
Hail, random Brad.
oh man, I don't know about you, but my forehead hurts. Wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
this is
Yeah.
this is a
And
major
normally the
headache.
cringe muscle is just right above the middle of my eyebrow, but it's just hurting a little further up, like I whacked myself on a brick wall.
So, like I was telling the guys backstage here that I need to watch some really depressing coronavirus coverage to cleanse my palate and cheer me up after watching this.
To lighten the mood.
Yeah, beans, the the bots that are correcting words and stuff like that. Let's refrain from actual saying the
Oh,
that CV
yeah.
word.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I've seen live streams when they were talking about it and they were showing the images that just got shut down. So, beings that YouTube is very short staffed and they're letting automatic things run. So let's watch what we say. But by all means, let's have fun. And I don't think they're gonna basically shut us down for saying the F word. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not for children. I've got it marked not for kids.
Well,
And
there's
if I
no.
have to, I can put an adult advisory and click that thingy too. So,
And there's
by
no
all means.
shortage of the F word in Picard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, this show's been like
Yep.
the whole time. The F word here and F word there. F bombs dropped the entire
And
freaking series.
In every context.
Not-
too,
and
the
not
F word.
just-
Yeah.
not just saying the F word. Sexual content. Are you effing any of them?
Mhm.
And,
Have you effed any of them?
Yeah. Like just like that's a
In
HBO.
Star Trek?
That's a HBO rated R thing, and we're watching Star Trek, and I'm just like,
It's like they tried. It's like now that it's on CBS All Access, they're trying to
Yeah.
make it dangerous and add this little factor of it's adult now, and it just comes off as being dumb.
and they're letting people
Very
watch
dumb.
for free now. But you see, you have to give a credit card number to watch for free. You know, if you're going to do a genuine thing and you're going to do a nice thing, you don't put no strings attached to it. You just do a nice thing. You know, you don't expect nothing in return.
So
If
you
they're
mean
going to do,
so I
if
heard that.
CBS, yeah, if they're going to give it free, then give it free, and then when that time is up, then shut it off, and then they don't
Yep.
get billed. You don't need to get people's credit card numbers. If you're
Well, yeah.
gonna do a genuinely nice thing, then do it, and don't expect any strings.
Yeah,
It's a
so
hustle.
they're-
It's a con.
Right.
So what are they giving you like a month for free or something, or what's the deal? Or just
I'm not
one
sure,
show?
but I there's a thing where there's a code where you can get it free for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, 30
Yeah.
days, I believe.
Was it? Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a month for free, and then they slap you with the charge.
Yeah, if you forget.
What else does CBS All Access have? I mean, all the shows. I imagine is it like all the old shows and everything too?
As far as the Star Treks, if they're remastered, they have those. But the only one that I would say is of significance is The Cage, and you can watch that on Netflix, but you can't watch that on CBS All Access. But all the other Star Treks, Voyager, Enterprise, Next Generation, you can watch those, and they look like they're remastered.
Yeah, and they're on
Okay.
Amazon also.
For
Yeah,
free or for Prime?
Yeah.
If you as Prime, they're available, and they're also available in the All Access section as well. If you have All Access through Prime.
So because I've been watching them, I've been going through the original series, and I'm thinking of making a long video on the original series and how much more superior and how ahead of the times and how much more genuine it was in pushing all this like SJW crap, but they did it in a pure and true way. And I'm thinking of making a long video on that. But I've been watching because Netflix has them all, so I've been watching them all on Netflix. But I don't know if the quality better on Amazon?
I think it's better on Netflix myself.
On Netflix. Oh, okay.
I've watched on Netflix, and I've watched on CBS All Access, and I do have to say, and Amazon too. I would say that picture quality wise is better on CBS All Access because they have the remaster cuts that they're showing.
So the Netflix,
And-
they're not remastered.
And the one on Netflix, I don't believe. At least I don't.
They're remastered.
They don't look like it.
Really?
Quality doesn't look good to me at all. I actually, I was curious about that, and so I watched an episode of The Next Generation on Netflix, and then I switched over and watched the same episode on CBS All Access, and the picture was noticeably better.
So here, I just Googled real quick a Star Trek remaster on Netflix. And it says the Next Generation episodes hit Netflix USA. Well, that day many of you have been waiting for has finally arrived. The remastered edition of Star Trek The Next Generation has finally rolled out. So maybe it's just the Next Generation on Netflix. So maybe not the original series. Maybe it's just the Next Generation.
TOS is remastered too. They redid the special effects.
On Netflix, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is all the remastered editions then.
Yeah. If you watch The Cage on Netflix, it has all the original effects. So it's
when did they add the remastered edition to Netflix? Is that recent?
This was, let's see here. Let me click on the article.
I think it was only a couple of years ago, I believe.
This article is from August of 2015.
Oh wow!
So it's been 5 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Netflix, you really don't control whether you're getting a high definition or not. It can self-adjust itself a lot. And I've seen
you don't
do
have
that.
an option of really choosing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. CBS All Access probably has a lot less demand than Netflix does right now. So they're probably not downgrading the stream.
That's true. Probably, the bandwidth is probably better.
Because I watched an episode of Enterprise, and I was like, wow, it's a pretty crisp picture. And I watched, I pretty much watched all of them on there to see how they look. And the picture looks really crisp. But one thing I like about Netflix is there's hardly ever any kind of buffering with Netflix because they do the buffering on their end, and basically because the system is so adjustable, you hardly ever notice any buffering. That's what I like about Netflix.
Yeah, there's really no buffering. Yeah, I just find the original series and Next Generation, just far superior in storytelling, even for even for the time.
Mhm.
You know, because we're talking 1966 for the original series, and I think what was Next Generation was 87 was the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, the technology was obviously not there, but the way they imagined it and they crafted the stories and the characters, it's just more entertaining to watch than this is. And I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, besides the stories not really, well, in some parts don't make any sense at all, and the characters aren't really developed. You know, in Picard, I mean, I didn't really, other than Rios and Soji at times, I didn't really care for any of the other new characters. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yet I cared for all the original series characters. Next Generation, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's only one season and you haven't had the time yet. I guess you could say that's a fair point. But also, even in season one, I just don't feel like there's, I don't know, not depth or they're too superficial. I don't know. What do you guys think?
There
I'm
was there was two moments where I found Soji's character compelling. Maybe three.
Are you
Other-
talking
other-
in the entire series one or just this last show?
Just last show. Otherwise, it's been kind of abrasive, and I haven't really. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I felt it was a little sincere, and it was believable as a character. I was really surprised, honestly.
And what two moments were they?
The moment where she thought that Picard was going to die, and the moment she decided to do the right thing, I thought that was believable.
Okay, yeah.
I was in disbelief that her character was actually being somewhat warm and believable. Shocked me.
Yeah, she became a little more likable, and
Yeah.
I mean, out of anyone that cares, see, so that was a problem I had with the, well, you know, spoiler alert, Picard death scene, or it's not even a death scene,
Yeah.
his temporary fading away scene. He was around all the new cast, but no one is connected to him. I mean, you just had Will come back on, you know, in the show, which was my favorite part of the show. I think that's all we agree. That's the best part of the show was Will
that
coming
was
back.
for sure the best part.
Yeah, it felt the most like Star Trek. You know, you actually had a ship that seemed like a, you know, I mean, you didn't even see much of the ship, which was, I guess, like this new sort of Enterprise, because it was supposed to be the fastest, best ship, and it was a whole fleet of them, right? And Will was in charge of it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it looked a little reminiscent of the last ship he commanded.
It was like an upgraded version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had him.
The one from
Nemesis?
yes. Yes, because I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
they
did.
repaired it.
Upgraded.
But it had the Star Trek Discovery-esque type bridge.
Yep. And it felt like
So
they
they
were
were
really trying not to show it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't really show
were.
They just showed him in the cockpit or in his command seat, and
Yeah.
you know, you got a little bit of the background, but that was and the screen, the display screen. That was about it.
Yep.
But even with that, it felt more like a ship than the, you know, I don't know, what's the Picard ship called that they're on, whatever the thing is called. I forget what it's called now.
The Optimus Primal, I think.
The USS Van Halen.
Yeah, the USS Van Halen.
It's that
They
Van
should-
Halen.
They should just call it the NCC.
Glass Arena, I think.
It's NCC
Yeah,
5150. That's what they should have called it.
Yeah.
5150. It's a Van Halen album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think that ship is going to transform, though, at some point. It's going to turn into a robot. Mark my words. Season 2, it's coming.
it's gonna turn into a guitar.
Turn into something.
You had like Will in that scene right before Picard dies, right? He's like saying sort of goodbye to him. He's kind of like, okay, I'll see you around. You know, you got it from here, and then he goes off, and then Picard dies around the cast that we don't care for. So why not have Picard have his death scene with Riker there? Wouldn't that have been more emotional? Now, after seeing the show, I realized maybe it didn't matter anyway because he doesn't really die. Death is now an illusion in Star Trek.
So there's no final drawing of the curtain on the stage, the final act. You
Yeah,
know,
At least not until the next one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are they gonna kill Picard at some point in the show? So they killed Data off in this.
Yeah.
Data. Okay, get this, folks. If you haven't watched it, Data basically wants to commit suicide. He. God, it's so dumb. So they're in the neither world or whatever it is, and they're
The digital world.
Yeah, digital world, quantum realm, I think they called it. Is that what they called it?
Something like quantum realm, something like that. Or quantum simulation.
Yeah, quantum simulation. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, Picard dies, but they happen to catch they're somehow able to download his consciousness into this little USB drive, a thumbnail drive. It's like a thumb drive, right?
Like 3 of them, glowing orange.
So they plug his consciousness and memories into this computer that also has datas. Hey, what's up, Christy?
Hey, Christy, what's up?
They also have his consciousness, and they plug in this computer, and they've got datas in there. So you have Picard's essence with Data's memories and consciousness inside this computer in this simulation. So it's not an afterlife, although he's dead. So they have this, this little moment of kind of Picard sort of expressing what he never was able to express when Data sacrificed himself to save his life. And, Data kind of tells him, hey, did you feel you sacrificed yourself to save their lives? Well, I don't either. It was a nice little moment. And then Data wants him to, when he goes back into this new body, he wants him to kill Data. So they brought Data back, and he was basically the driving force for Picard to get involved with this entire first season, and just to kill him.
It comes out of nowhere. It's really weird. All of it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a very strange scene. It went from something that was kind of a nice scene into being something that was kind of trivial. Like you're just bringing him back to kill him off. It didn't really make sense. And then you find out that Picard, because they had his I don't know, life, his consciousness.
I got a funny thing for you. You know how I've been saying nice to rub elbows with you? Well, hey, literally rubbing elbows been a thing, shaking hand out the window lately,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, rubbing elbows, yeah, funny thing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of rubbing elbows, 7 of 9 and Rafi end up rubbing elbows.
Yeah, they were holding hands.
Yeah. That was the other thing after you.
And it was like jump flash scenes. Like it wasn't flashing, but it felt like it was jumping. Like how'd that happen? It's like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, they were throwing things together that didn't seem to. I mean, Rios kisses what's her name? What's her name? Angry woman explaining.
Oh, Naggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naggy explain. They're kissing.
Naggy woman explain. Yeah, they're kissing all of a sudden, and then you've got Raffi and 7 and 9 holding hands. Like there's a little lesbian thing going on there, and you're like, where did this come from? Any of this stuff? If anything, I thought they were trying to build Rios and Raffi. I thought there was maybe some going to be going on there, but
that would make sense.
Yeah, that seemed to be where they could have gone. I would believe that because I thought they had enough interaction together. But to show like Raffi was 7 of 9, like where the hell did that come from? And then Rios kissing women's plane. It just
good news, guys. She's not a murderer anymore.
Yeah, right. They all got over that real quick.
Yeah. Forgot about it. Not even thinking about it. Yeah.
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 Well, maybe that's how they're going to open up. Season 2. They're going to have a love scene with Girardi and Rios, and then she's gonna go all like, Basic Instinct and kill him with an ice pick or something.
I'm back to murdering everyone. Trick was on you.
Or, yeah,
Rafi,
yeah.
I need some tips on rehab. I slipped up and I killed again.
Or she could go the other way and put big masonry bricks under his ankles and bust him.
Oh yeah, like
Misery.
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 Yeah, misery.
Yeah, misery.
But
Yeah.
I could see it now. Oh, I killed again, Rafi. Oh baby. Oh honey sugar child. You got to take it one day at a time, baby. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's have some red velvet cake, sugar.
Hasn't things evolved where basically this isn't Star Wars. They're not selling death sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's in Star Wars. They do stuff like that in Star Wars. Star Trek, basically. Utopia. Everything was pretty much sickness, pretty much healed, there wasn't nothing that they couldn't do. But no, they've got to portray someone that is basically a drug addict in Star Trek. Un-Star Trek-like, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think by the 25th century they would have had, the biology and the triggers and the mental aspect of it all figured out by that time.
Yeah.
I mean, we know so much more about addiction than we did, just like even 50 years ago.
Shit, Bashir could cure most addictions.
Oh yeah, that one with
Yeah.
Derek.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. Mind blown in the worst way.
The worst way.
Yes.
Holy crap! What the hell? What the hell did we just watch?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really leave it off anywhere, so I'm not sure where they're gonna take this for season 2. Because there was no like cliffhanger here, which isn't.
Oh,
a bad
they
thing.
were
I'm okay
that's
with that, but what do you think? Was there?
when it showed them all on the bridge and the ship. They were setting it up. That's going to be the crew right there.
Oh no, yeah, and of course that's the
Yeah.
crew. But
They're
but,
setting- they're
they
setting
didn't-
that
there was
up.
no story that they left off. We don't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was anything left undone that we are like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's coming. There was no cliffhanger like that.
Well, what purpose does Soji have now?
That's true too. She's just
Now,
yeah. Well, she's still super powered, I guess. A super powered kind of.
you notice that when
Lord.
they got the tower turned on, that it was a gateway.
Yes, that's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
They were from a different freaking
Yeah.
Like dimension or something?
dimension.
Yep. That's right. She was trying to. Yeah, that they could take it somewhere like that because she was trying to open up a gateway, which was going to bring, I guess, the hell on earth kind of scenario that they were trying to avoid. And you saw these like metal worm, like, what'd you call them, Bear? Like the water Terminator kind
Remember
of thing.
the water terminators from
Yeah, was that Salvation?
Salvation? Exactly.
Yeah.
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 They reminded me of the water terminators,
Yeah, they did. That's what they look like.
only much bigger. I
Mhm.
mean, it looked like one of those things was
Yeah, they're like ship size.
as long as the world almost.
Yeah, they look pretty big from. Now,
Like
I don't
one-
think any of them got through. I think it looked like they all got closed off and went back.
So basically,
See?
they can't get into this world. So
No, I guess not.
what I'm wondering is, did the people that invented them and created them, did they send them into a different dimension?
Well, yeah. I mean, where were they coming from? Where? what
Yeah,
was opening up?
remember the one
'Cause they were mechanical. They weren't. They weren't like biological.
remember in the Next Generation where I forget the name of the species, but there was a place where they could go to different places in different
Iconians.
windows. Yeah, the Arconians.
Yeah, that was in the episode Contagion,
Yeah.
I believe. Yes.
I heard some rumors floating around that they might try to tie it into something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so would this be like a temporary holding zone, or?
I'm not
are we
sure how
talking
they were. I'm not sure how they were going to try and tie it in, but basically with that tower opening a portal basically the Arconians could open portals, stuff like that. It was rumor that I seen floating around. It's like I didn't take much credence in the rumor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Phantom Zone in Superman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No?
So did we really need 10 episodes to get here?
No, absolutely
Oh,
not. It was
man.
very slow to get here.
Basically, it'd be a movie.
And the
If you
board
edit it, if you edit all of it down, it would be just a 2-hour movie.
And the board cube, aside from them being able to detect the Romulan fleet, and I guess getting Seven of Nine and Rafi together, it served absolutely no purpose whatsoever. That served no purpose. Nimrod served no purpose. It just doesn't make
Nimrod,
any sense.
Who was? Who was Nimrod?
Nimrod's Choose to Live.
Think
guy.
of it.
Elroy.
Elroy. Yeah.
Elroy. Yeah, Elron.
Elroy.
Elroy or Elron. I forget.
Yeah,
Hey, Random Brad, what's up?
Nimrod. Yeah.
Yeah, Nimrod. Yeah. No, it definitely did need 10 episodes. They could have cut out a lot of those middle episodes to get right to it.
Yeah.
A lot of that being on the Borg cube and
all these
long.
in all these little remember all these plots that they were kind of hinting at, and they some call it foreshadowing, all the foreshadowing they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's like you dropped all this really juicy, interesting stuff, and then all of a sudden,
I think
season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe this is wishful thinking, but maybe they were foreshadowing another announcement of a show. It's going to be Riker being a space YouTuber with a cooking show.
Making pizzas.
Yep, just making pizzas. I'd watch that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, man. He'll do live streams and get super chats in their cashless society, and people make him wear a funny hat anytime they kick in over 10 credits or whatever.
I can't make him wear a costume.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Season 2, there's been rumors that they might bring back Whoopi Goldberg's character in season 2.
I've heard that too.
I guess she's expressed some interest in it.
Well, I thought there was in Next Generation they kind of hinted at a romance between he and Guinan, but who the heck would want to see a romance between he and Guinan now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they have to bring Q into this because Q had a thing with Picard. He liked to bug the hell out of him.
I mean, Q would be interesting, yeah, if they brought him.
And Q's always hinted that this isn't over. Remember?
Yeah. I mean,
they've never really concluded that.
I don't know where he would fit in all this, but
well, Picard. Well, is it even Picard?
well,
after what happened, is it even Picard? It's
Robo Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And notice talk about like the possibility of a relationship. Notice that they said, they made a point of saying, and everything works just fine. It all works. So I mean, what were they hinting at there? Freaking sick show.
Fuckers. Yep.
Little Picard's working just fine.
Yeah. No blue pill required. Well, wait a second. Yeah. They said no superpowers, so 96-year-old man.
That's true. Yeah, I'd be a little upset at that. Like, when nothing? You're not giving me. I'm 80-some years old. You're not giving me anything here. Why would they? That's a stupid thing too. Oh, we know you wouldn't want to have to adjust being super strong and super fast and having an unlimited stamina. That's really something you have to it's trouble to adjust to. Come on.
Jeez. God. It's so dumb. It's so bad. It's mind-meltingly bad.
Yeah, what Random Brad said, I'm listening while cooking. Din Din only watched a couple episodes of Picard. I think I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that, Brad.
Yeah, they could
Leave it
have
at that.
just made this into like a 2-hour movie and cut out a lot of the fat of this show.
Yep. Could have put all the awesome pieces together. What few
Still
there
would
are.
have been very good because there's still not a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's
Still
not.
a lot.
I
But at
think
least the story would have been more condensed and it would have been freaking long.
Yeah, I just would have been okay with Riker cooking and then, them showing up to the planet.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I think Picard got told off a lot less this episode. Maybe I'm imagining that, though. He did get told off at the beginning, though, didn't he?
He did. Did he? Yeah, maybe not as bad though. I mean, you finally had. Okay, yeah, okay. I can think of the two parts that were. Well, that we all agreed that Will's was his scene was the best, right?
Yes.
And then we had the Data scene, which I liked, except for it didn't make sense, and then you had to kill Data off. So, but the scene between him and Picard, the interaction was nice at least.
It was.
Yeah, it was a good interaction, and then until Data said, "I want to die."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool interaction, and then it went kind of cryptic.
Yeah. But the third scene, I think, Bear, if you agree, the third scene that maybe you were talking about was when Picard finally takes control of the ship, and it seems like he's finally the captain again. When it's him and Naggy Nag woman's plane in there.
Oh yeah, Naggy Nag woman's plane. Okay, that was okay, and I think they actually had a joke that landed in that, although I can't remember it at the moment.
Yeah,
it did land a little bit. Yeah.
The Picard maneuver, is that what it was?
Yeah, Picard maneuver, and then she was like, well, it wasn't really a joke, but she was like, wait a second, like that was a thing, and then that clicked in her, I guess, her memory from learning in, I don't know, history, I guess, what that maneuver was, and that was kind of what helped them defeat or buy time until the Federation arrived.
The little Imaginarian thing that she held in her hand, the doohickey.
The sonic screwdriver.
Sonic screwdriver, yep.
Yeah.
They have basically a sonic screwdriver in this episode. It's stupid.
It just
magic.
knows what to do and how to fix things. You just hold it up to whatever you need fixed, and these little tentacles come out and fix whatever you need.
Yep. You hold it and you use your imagination. And it fixes things, whatever.
But see, a sonic screwdriver, it kind of works with Doctor Who, because Doctor Who's mysterious and like, sure, why not? You kind of buy it in the scope of that show, but it's a little weird here.
So I after everything that's happened, I kind of wonder if if all of Picard didn't take place in the quantum simulator or the quantum realm.
Well, that's where I thought they might be going with that. When Data was explaining that he's in like this quantum simulator, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this whole show part of that? Is that where we're going with this? But I don't think that's ultimately what's going on here. I don't think so.
I can't even figure out what is going on here. Really, where are they going with this shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Picard's now like half robot, so where are they? I don't know. I guess they're just gonna leave it at that. He's just half robot.
Yeah, he's a Cylon now.
Yeah, he's a Cylon. Yeah, who will live a normal rest of his normal years that he would live. He's not immortal.
So he'll probably live another 60 years.
He will.
He'll
live like another. What he said, 10, hopefully 10 years.
Well, if something happens to Patrick Stewart, I mean, that whole robot thing is going to seem really dumb. Assuming actually do. Yeah, assuming they still do a season 2, which I'm hoping they don't. Please don't. I'm begging you, Sherry Redstone. Please save us.
Greenlit though already. I think.
Wow.
But I mean, that's why I thought they were going to go with the when they had him regenerate, basically like Doctor Who. When they brought him back, I thought, oh my god, he's gonna come back into like another body that's gonna be someone else. It's gonna look like someone else, but it'll still be Picard, and then they can basically go on forever with Star Trek Picard in different bodies. Like Doctor Who. I thought they were gonna pull that off, or not pull it off. I mean, that would have been they would have pulled it off. I thought they were gonna pull that on us, but they did bring him back in. Patrick Stewart. So, yeah, I don't know if something because he is getting older. I don't know how many more years. He's in good shape though. Good, I guess, good health for for his age. So maybe he's got some seasons left. So it's got on. We were talking about this before we went live, but it's IMDb has it as 7.9 out of 10. So it's a high score for IMDb, but Rotten Tomatoes. The critic scores an 89. The audience scores a 62. So, quite a difference there. And then Metacritic, the critic score is 76. So, again, pretty high. But the user score is only 4.4 out of 10. So, pretty low and quite a discrepancy. So, we see a lot of critics liking it. A lot of, the viewers and the common folk not too crazy about it.
Well, do you remember when they were planning on having season 3 of STD? Because they wrapped in February, and they're saying it's
yes, yeah,
in 2020 sometime. 13 episodes.
So are they still? What's going on with that? Are they going to do a season 3?
I'm looking on Wikipedia and looking at it, and I'm not seeing an actual premiere date.
Let me look at IMDb too, see if that's on there. Yeah, let's see if they have a season 3 listed. They do not. Oh no, they do. They do have a season 3 listed.
Oh, please. No, yeah. God, make it stop.
Yep. Season 3, episode 3.1 is already, they already have a picture for it. So it looks like it's going to be 9 episodes. Season 3, 9 episodes.
Only 9?
That's all that's listed here.
Well, yeah. Wikipedia says 13.
Well, maybe IMDb is just not fully updated, but it only has 9 episodes so far.
Maybe they changed something. Because normally IMDb is pretty up to snuff on this stuff.
Yeah. It does show 2020. Now, who knows, now.
Yeah, it's not showing a date.
Yeah, it doesn't have a release. It just says 2020. It doesn't have a release date yet.
Because February, they wrapped in February, so that means they got a process of all of it.
And especially now, who knows how long that could take.
Who knows, yes.
So man, of The Last Jedi and Doctor Who, what they did with the retcon of the Doctor, and then this shit, which of those what category would you say, which one would you say is the worst? Rank them. Worst to least worst.
Oh, man. I'm a Doctor Who fan, too. I grew up with my dad watching Doctor Who. Tom Baker was my doctor when I was growing up. And didn't a couple of the doctors after that because I kept watching. Oh, man. What they've done with Doctor Who when it started, man. You could flip a coin on that one, honestly.
Yep.
Which is worse, to Star Trek or Doctor Who? You could flip a coin. Really?
Well, are you talking Star Trek just Picard or also Discovery?
Yeah, Discovery too. You weigh it all in what they've done with Star Trek and Doctor Who. You could flip a coin to say which is worst.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all brain meltingly bad.
Because was it series 11 that they switched to the female doctor?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Well,
I think 10 was still Capaldi.
Third episode we stopped watching. Third episode, my wife fell asleep on it. And, my wife likes Doctor Who. She liked all the doctors from Tenet. Tenet's my favorite.
Yeah, Tennant's my favorite as well.
Out of the new Doctors, Tennant's my favorite.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Dr. Baker is my favorite. Matt Smith, I liked him as the Doctor.
Mhm.
And
I really liked Eccleston. I thought he brought a little bit of bravado to the Doctor, a little bit of kick-assery. It just sucks that he only did one season.
I liked Eccleston too. He was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was good, but then when you see like when Tennant came in after that, I just thought like, oh, I mean, Tennant kind of blew him away.
He was born for it, and you got to say.
Yeah, I mean, he was just perfect for it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think Last Jedi still takes the cake.
Raul says there's talk of them doing a movie of STD.
Oh yeah, I've also heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I've heard the same thing. and the whole ship battle thing. Gary was right.
Yeah, well, at least it wasn't as
right.
It wasn't as bad as STD season 2. The last episode was.
Yeah,
he was saying basically that they're probably going to do this big old shit battle scene where they're going to be moving the camera around and all that. I agree. They definitely because it's the same. They did the same thing to a bit larger degree in the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. So wow, now that I don't know if we should reflect on the season or just this episode at this point, but I feel like there's a lot of plot threads that could have gone somewhere and never went somewhere, or
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, kernels of an interesting idea that could have gone somewhere and just like poof.
I also thought that there's themes that I picked up from the original series that they had in this show, but they didn't seem like they were done as well, or they could have tied things in, but they didn't. There was the one episode, I forget the title, but it was when Kirk went down to the planet, and there was the guy that was running this, like, he was living in like a cave, and he had all these robots, and he ended up himself being a robot, and they made a robot of Kirk, but there was this one that was like Lurch, and he had talked about the ancient ones who came, they created them, and then they wanted to destroy them because they were threatened by them. And, and I thought that's pretty much what Picard is all about. Why not tie that in? That would have been a perfect tie-in. Like, oh my God, they're bringing this back from the original series, and, but they did not do that. A lot of missed opportunities, like themes that I've been watching the original series, and I see that I'm like, oh my gosh, this could tie into Picard.
That's because they don't know the material completely.
I think that must be it.
And the people that are doing this work, they have no love of the material, no real love. Like some of these other people that used to work on this stuff, they loved what they were doing. They loved the stuff they were creating, and they knew all the lore.
And another thing to point out in that episode is that they did everything that Star Trek Picard tried to do in 10 episodes in one episode. Like, okay, in that episode you're talking about, so you set up Nurse Chapel. She had a past with that guy. You get his backstory. You know more about those characters in that 1 hour episode than you know about anybody in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, it's very true. You know more about them in one 50-minute episode than this entire series.
Yep. And the big questions that were laid out in Picard are all, addressed in that episode. Oh man, I'm just starting to get mad.
Yeah, they just could have done it in such a better way. It tied things in.
And you remember that loving embrace that female Elfilin and male Elfilin when they embraced? I'm just realizing that wasn't a brotherly and sisterly embrace.
No,
it's been playing in my head a little bit, and question marks been popping up, and it's like,
well, even when she asked her brother, have you effed any of them yet?
Yeah.
She said that out of jealousy.
Yeah.
That was it's like an ex-girlfriend saying, something like that too.
That's
you know,
why.
if you have you effed any of them yet? It's like, whoa, okay, you're his sister.
Yeah, that's why I call her sister girlfriend.
Yeah, sister girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, my God, this is not Luke and Leia, okay?
Yeah, at least they didn't
No.
know.
Right.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's messed up. The
Oh man.
incest and
Boing, boing, boing against the wall. Boing, boing.
and then even the whole thing. You know, they built up this whole thing with the Borg coming back and the Borg cube, but even that really, you know, where's the Borg? Where does that leave the Borg?
It just felt wasted.
Didn't go anywhere.
It didn't
was-
really go anywhere.
It was all there just so that they could say, "Oh, we've got sensors, and we're picking up the Romulan ships." Oh, and apparently to hook Rafi and 7 of 9 up.
Yeah, but why? So why were they researching and torturing the Borg? What was the purpose of that? I kind of forget what why they were doing that.
And what about crazy ant lady that ended up, with the tarot cards? That went nowhere. Never found out why her ship was assimilated, the last ship assimilated, and what any of that stuff means.
Oh, right. The redhead one, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, that went nowhere.
And what about the I guess she's not a bad the blonde who's in charge of I guess she's gray hair. Who's in charge of I don't know, some major role in Starfleet Command who was the one who told Picard to shut the F up.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
happened? Whatever happened with her?
Shut the F up.
I guess she wasn't a villain though.
Well, apparently she had a beef with Picard, but she didn't have a beef with Riker. So
Yeah.
I guess again this was totally pointless because Picard could have just hopped on the communicator and asked Riker for help.
Yeah, I mean she didn't grant Picard temporary status when he asked, but apparently was able to grant Will temporary status. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know. It just seems convenient. I guess Will wasn't there to, go against Starfleet orders when the whole was it was it Mars or was it the Romulan Empire? Which one?
The Romulan evacuation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Romulan. Yeah.
Maybe
Romulus.
maybe she's a fellow Alaskan. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe she's also a pizza enthusiast and seen his live streaming of how to make pizzas.
Yeah.
Whoa. Ooh, that could go a couple of different ways depending on how you interpret that.
Oh, that's right.
God.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
What were they?
It's
What were they
a lab
calling? What were they calling their broadcasts? Hollows.
Hollows?
Yeah. Didn't they call the broadcast hollows?
You mean when they were like
Yeah, when they would.
communicating with each other?
No, on the holodeck, they're calling stuff on the holodeck hollows or something like that.
Okay.
It was just weird.
Oh yeah, like a hollow novel or a hollow whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And what, they didn't want to use the word hollow novel? What is that? That 25% that someone gets or something? I don't
Right.
know, man.
Same thing with like the tricorder. Again, she uses that tricorder briefly in this episode, but
Because
it does not look like the tricorder from Next Generation.
basically
or-
they don't, from what I've heard, they don't have the licenses to make things look like the Next Generation.
Well, that would make sense.
Because I know that was true for Discovery. So what if this is true for Picard? They just don't have the licenses.
Now the suits they wear are pretty reminiscent of, but I guess they also look like Discovery. The suits kind of look like Next Generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the
you notice the
movies anyway.
symbol, the movies, the communicator, the badge. It was a little different. But time has passed too, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
true.
It's not like it would look the exact same anyway. Symbols I guess are updated, unless it's the NBA and they don't want to make it Kobe. But otherwise, symbols usually updated a little bit.
And Jonathan Frakes is probably going to put stuff in his contract to where he ain't doing nothing stupid.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean because Patrick Stewart put stuff in his contract that this was what we were going to get. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and basically
You didn't get the same from Patrick
the
Stewart.
the video I did about that Variety article, because you know what, man, that I was having problems with the screen recorder, so I started making that video like right 11 o'clock, and I had to go do something and all that, and then I finally finished it like maybe 8 something or so. But yeah.
Well, it said season 1 is in the books, and who knows where season 2 is going to go. I don't know where they're going to take this thing right now.
hopefully Oblivion.
Um,
Other than possibly like
basically,
saying, maybe the portal, that was opened up. I mean, that could be. They could have some tie-in with that, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to tie into Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
That's where all the AIs that want to be an AI, that don't know they're an AI, but they are an AI because they know they want to be an AI, live.
yeah, they're a snake eating its tail and they don't know it.
I will say this though with season 1, that something it had going for it that now I don't think it does is that there was an urgency with Picard. I mean, they didn't really portray it. It wasn't executed well, but there was like an urgency because he had this brain issue. He didn't have time, and he was on his a last mission, and there was like a sense of that they could have really built that. They should have built it a lot better, but at least they had something. There was like something at stake, and now they don't. Now that they've put him in a body that's basically other than like he'll die sometime naturally in the next 10 years, there's not that urgency or that something to overcome like that. Not saying they can't come up with something in season 2, but I thought that there was something to that. Like, he doesn't have a lot of time left. This is his last kind of voyage out into the stars, and that could have lasted a couple seasons. They didn't necessarily have to have him sort of die and reincarnate or regenerate this season. They could have kept this going a little bit, and then you still would have had that urgency. But now that's gone. I don't feel like threatened by that anymore.
Yeah. So what's going to be the threat coming up in this next thing?
Right.
What's the crisis? What's the thing that's hovering that they need to get taken care of, or they need to get done before that hovering thing comes down and smacks them into reality? Yeah.
Yeah, because Picard, I would think Picard, this is his last mission. He fulfilled it. Go back to that retired life,
Mm-hmm.
But now that he's he doesn't have his brain issue anymore, it's on to the next task or the next whatever mission they'll be on in season 2.
Who knows? With the writing being the way it is, it's like, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's got an identity problem.
Yeah, and they're throwing so much. I don't know, just that whole end sequence with, I don't know how much time has passed. Not a lot, but you all of a sudden, you got Rafi and 7 to 9 holding hands, and woman, naggy, McWoman-splain kissing Rios. It's like, where did all this stuff come from? The writing. It's just the writing. Like, what the heck? It's so bad.
And then all of a sudden,
so bad.
7 and
they're holding hands.
Rafi, their thing now, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna draw some parallels here, and then basically, we'll just say basically copying. The Arrowverse. What's that show in the Arrowverse where they got the ship?
Oh, Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah. You know how she used to be the Canary.
Mm-hmm.
She's the commander of the ship now.
Black Canary. Yeah.
How she has a relationship with the one agent.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
we got two women here having a relationship. It's like they're getting ideas from all these other shows, bits and pieces. And it's like, okay, and it's like they're trying to be edgy,
Oh, they're definitely trying to be edgy.
And it's like, all right, it's like, why are you trying so damn hard?
But exactly, that's the thing. It comes off as they're trying to be edgy, which just makes it cliche. Like that's what I was saying with even the original series. Like back in the '60s, they have things that are actually edgy. I mean, they have they have women that are in charge of. There's a woman that's the head of a court that's trying to prosecute Picard, trying to prosecute Kirk. And it's a female in 1966. There's an African American guy who was also in a different episode trying to take Picard, trying to take Kirk down. And it's like they had women, people of color, and different genders as high positions of power, and that was edgy back then.
Plus, check out the Cage, the very first episode of Star Trek. Woman second in command. She was the first officer.
See, yeah, look at that. Yeah. It's just so much you could point to, and this was, way before its time. I mean, in the '60s, that was edgy, but it all seemed like you watch it and it seems natural. Like that's just how it was.
Yeah,
they weren't trying to make it
forced. In fact,
or preachy, or it was just like, this is the future and this is how things are now. And it's like, yeah. I mean, I buy it because no one makes any big deal of it. But here you feel like it's, they're trying to make a big deal of it, or it's a statement, or it's the way it's written. The characters are so over the top. They're so overdone. Where in the original series, they just seem natural. They didn't have to make a point of being like, I'm whatever it is. I'm a woman and I'm in charge, or I'm a minority and I have a high position of power. It was just like, that was it. I am what I am, and this is the position I have, and you buy it. But these days, the writing of the characters, they're more intent on showing everyone, that they're, even though they're of a different class than the typical white male, that, they can be strong and they can be empowered. It's like, I don't need to hear you preach it. Just show me that they are, and I'll buy it.
Right.
Because I already believe they can be. It's not like you're trying to sell us on the fact that they can be. I believe they can be. I look at our real world, and we see that so. And you look at the history of TV, and it's always been portrayed. Why now does it have to be so freaking preachy and unrealistic?
You want a conspiracy theory? It's because I believe the showrunners do not believe that, and they're.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, that's that is a possibility.
That would be basically them projecting their real world beliefs into what they're writing.
Right. Yep.
Which is the complete opposite of what we freaking want.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine if, just picture in your head switching Uhura out for Rafi in the original series.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking offensive that would be.
Yeah.
If they made Uhura a crackhead.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Absolutely
It'd be so cliche. Yep.
Be like, oh man, Uhura's late for her shift again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it would be very, very cliche. But they didn't do that.
No, Uhura knew her stuff.
Yeah, Uhura was a badass.
Yeah, and in her off time she could
never question it.
No, and in her off time she could sing and play, whatever that Vulcan instrument was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's a good singer. That's right.
Oh. But when she's on duty, she was on duty.
It was like a harp thing or something that she played. Some kind of
yeah, like a Vulcan lute. I think I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Sounded weird.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spock was really getting down with it. Well, I don't know if you've gotten that far yet, but I think that's season 3, the space hippies.
Oh no, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, he jams with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that they're just better. They're just better. The writing's better. They're more well written. Back then.
Hey, what's up, Stig?
Hey, Stig. The
hey,
4 horses. Yeah. That's right, Stig. Yeah, but it's just more entertaining to watch because I'm more involved in the world because I don't have this adverse effect of like, you're trying to make me believe this, or you're actually irritating me because you're trying so hard, or this person's becoming, this character is now annoying, which has happened to multiple characters in Picard now, where they've actually gotten annoying because they're trying so hard to, the writers are trying so hard to prove their point of who this character is. And you just don't have that. There's not one character I'm annoyed with so far in the original series as I'm going through this. I like each and every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they'll occasionally have, like somebody that's in a bit player in one episode that they'll make kind of a dummy.
Sure, yeah.
But
none of the main characters.
Yeah. Like, have you gotten to the one yet that had Clint Howard?
No.
Okay.
I love Clint Howard, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, he's so good. And I know I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, baby Clint Howard. That's a good episode. Wait till you get to that one.
Wow.
Oh, I have gotten to that one. I didn't realize that was Clint Howard.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, they
Holy
had
crap,
they had
that's
annoying...
Clint Howard.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So yeah, that and you know what they did with that annoying character? They gave him to Clint Howard and they left him there, and you never saw him again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's funny. I did not realize that was Clint Howard. Yeah, he's like a little baby genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny episode.
Yeah, one was a classic.
Yeah, I just took some. I think I just took some. Yeah, I took some Excedrin. Yeah, I think that episode literally gave me a headache.
Yeah, I might need some Excedrin as well.
Yeah.
Well, Stig, go get into the original Star Trek. The original stuff is much better.
It's good.
Than this. Yeah, I mean, you're not missing anything with this, but I'm really enjoying the original series and well, I know Next Generation to a degree too, but I'm going through everything now and actually really getting into it more so than I ever have, and it's really enjoyable, and it's amazing how accurate they saw into the future of our technology. In the original series, I mean, there's so much that they have and use that we can trace. We can see the results of in our common day technology.
Yep.
There's video conferencing and the cell phones, the flip phones were obviously communicators. The iPads, they use iPads in the show. They have like something that's like an Apple Pen. Just so much. Designs of things look similar. They had a phaser. We have tasers. Not quite the same, but they look similar, and they both kind of incapacitate someone. And
well, if you think about it, the first handheld
3D printers are like replicators. There's so much.
The first handheld taser was almost shaped like one of the original.
Yeah, the original tasers. Yeah,
long phasers.
Yeah. I mean, my God, I have a the razor that looks like an original phaser. I think they even kind of made that look the same. It's just you could trace so much to it. Video conferencing and we just
all this technology that we use basically to talk to one another or live stream, literally, if you think about it.
Yeah, live streaming right. Yeah, what we're doing right now is basically what they do in Star Trek. There's so much that they kind of saw into the future, and it's impressive for them to be able to do that in 1966, because they were decades away from any of that stuff being possible.
Yeah, and then they even have the debates that we have today, like about whether about online having ebooks versus having paper books. Like there's one episode where Kirk goes on trial and he gets this curmudgeonly old attorney that refuses to use the computer because he wants to have physical copies of books.
Right. Yeah.
And the reaction that Kirk has, to that is kind of like what a Gen Zer might have to somebody that has books around. Like, what?
Yeah, what's the purpose of this? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was way ahead of its time in many aspects. But, I look at see, that's the thing. It was way ahead of its time, right? It was pushing ideas that weren't even close to becoming reality for decades to come. You look at Picard, what's that pushing? Where's that looking ahead? It's all common day. It's like it's preaching our common day politics.
I liked Wesley Crusher, Stig Kenobi.
I liked some of the Wesley Crusher, but it got to be a bit much, I gotta say.
I didn't like the one where they all got drunk. I didn't like that one. Oh, you mean I'm drunk? And he was playing around with Picard's voice, and they're they're in engineering, and he made that repulse beam or whatever.
Yeah,
that was annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that Will Wheaton was very annoying at times. Yeah.
Oh yeah, who was the little kid, right?
Yeah. Well, he had a pretty good the episode where they had Sarek on there and when he and Geordi got into a fight and he's like, well, at least I don't have to find my women on the holodeck. I thought that was pretty good.
I remember that. That was funny, I gotta say.
Yeah, they're getting ready to slug it out. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so, but as annoying as he is, but yeah, Stig, if you thought Wesley Crusher was annoying, pretty much just multiply that times 5 with Star Trek Picard and the characters in that show.
Yeah, it just didn't do anything to push to visualize what the future would be like, or I guess the future in that time, like the original series did, and Next Generation did.
Gosh, can you imagine in the original series if somebody just up and became a murderer and then said, "Oh, so I'm not a murderer anymore," and they just all became friends and let them serve on the ship or whatever?
You think Kirk would be okay with that and trust him? Kirk was way ahead of. That's sort of what happened with, the first time you see Khan, right? Because they had found out he was like this dictator murderer from the 90s, which is funny.
It is.
Yeah, but he comes, he unfreezes, and Kirk doesn't trust him one bit. Yep.
Kirk had good instincts.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Even after everything Khan pulled, he's like, you know what? Khan is a man of his time and the genetic engineering he has. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna allow you to live and make whatever world you want on this shitty planet.
Right. Yeah.
He had mercy, but he still punished him.
Yeah. Yeah. And exiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't throw him in jail. He just exiled him to kind of have freedom, but in a remote spot that would be very tough to survive on.
Yes.
But he also knew, I guess, Khan would be able to do that because of the kind of person he was.
Yeah, their genetic engineering and all that and whatnot, and mental powers and physical prowess. Yeah, boy, this is some pretty horrible shit.
Yeah. Yep. Grade A. Grade A.
It's just the whole thing's kind of blah. I don't know. I don't know. I watched old Star Trek and I feel like inspired and, taken away, like whisked away in this fantastical kind of world, that you kind of believe in a way. But I watch Picard and it's just kind of blah. It's just like, I don't know. And I don't get caught up in it like I do with, the older shows.
In all these special effects, all the noises that the engines and all that stuff make, and the phasers or whatever weapons they're using, it doesn't sound like Star Trek. And it's not really visually Star Trek to me either.
It's not visually at all. Yeah, no.
They seem
I mean, come on! It looked like they look like large, giant Cylon Raiders, or what's the fighters called? Yeah, the Raiders that were carried personnel, the Cylon Raiders, and then you had the individual fighters. It looked like one of those, man, with the long slit across the Cylon shaped head of the ship. You know, it looked a lot like it to me. And that's like, don't they have any original ideas on their own? They got to borrow a little of this, a little of that here and there. Nothing original?
Yeah.
Or how about this? Stick to canon designs. That'll help you. Jeez.
Yep.
Well, I said like since the beginning of the show, I don't like the ship design at all. It doesn't seem like Star Trek. It's very empty, cold, heartless, soulless, you know, which was kind of this entire series.
Yes, no soul. You got no soul.
And the only times you do get a soul are really like genuine soul, or when you have the old characters. You know, when you had the Will, the episode where they go to Will's house,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know where he appears back in this, and then the Data, when Data and him are talking, even though it ultimately didn't make sense, but at least it had, you know, there was heart and soul there. But otherwise, the rest of the characters just, I don't know, superficial and generic, and I don't know. There was not a lot of heart and soul into it.
Nope.
No soul at all. Salvator says, I know almost nothing about Star Trek. I'm honestly intimidated by it and have no idea where to start, even if I tried.
I'll just start at the original series.
Start at the original.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And if you have Netflix, you can actually see The Cage as the first episode, and that's definitely a good place to start.
Yeah, it gives you all the background you need. You are introduced to all the different races. I mean, you get a basis for everything. But that's what I'm doing, because I'm not a Trekkie by any means. You know, I watched some of the original series when I was a kid, went on reruns, and I watched The Next Generation when it was on. But you know, it was more just for fun. But now I'm actually watching it to understand it all. And you watch the original series, and you'll get that's the place to start. You get a good basis for it all. So they really set it up nice.
Yep. Yeah, there's some good episodes.
Oh, Stig makes a good point there too.
Yes, yes, indeed.
That's right. Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Create. You have to be able to dream. If you were too woke, you can never dream. SJW is part of the problem. Indeed.
Basically, they're too worried about what their peers are going to say about them if they write something really good.
They're not dreaming. They're not dreaming because they're so obsessed with current politics of, you know, our world today, that they're not dreaming of tomorrow, or you know, they're just so obsessed with trying to tear everything down today that they have no, you know, there's no like foresight or.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they don't want to. Basically, they don't want to build anything. They just want to tear things down. If you don't want to build anything, you're not dreaming, which is what Stig, you know, is implying there.
Well, basically, I think at this point, I think they fully intended to basically tear anything down and destroy anything that we loved. That was their whole intent from the beginning. All these things: Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek. How can it not be intentional? You know,
I would hope that anything this bad was written intentionally bad.
It feels intentional. It's like, okay, you can't have your toys no more, so we're gonna smash them. That's what it fucking feels like, and it pisses me off.
Yep.
Well,
like,
and
you know, they're like, wouldn't it be cool if we made a show about Picard where everybody, you know, but make him a doddering old imbecile and have everybody insult him and tell him how stupid he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, they could have just killed him off, but no, they're gonna bring him back, so we can get more of that in season 2.
Yeah.
You remember that cartoon?
Robot Weird.
when you got the salesman talking about stuff, and the one cartoon character goes, "Whoopla!" I feel like that guy kept popping up mentally, like if I'm watching this fleshed type cartoon or something. Any moment he's gonna go whoopla, stick his head out.
I
Guys,
think
remember that cartoon? I think it was.
I do
no.
not recall
I
that,
think
but
it was. I think it was an MGM cartoon. Might have been Tom and Jerry. It's the guys that made Tom and Jerry. Might have been one of those, or one of the Droopy cartoons.
when the beacon opened up the portal, man, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking it reminded me very much of the end of Howard the Duck when, like, the three creatures were flying through the portal right before Howard the Duck got into the fight with the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and blew
Oh
him
yeah,
up.
yeah. Ed Rooney.
Yeah. I was like, that kind of reminds me of that. I don't know why.
Yes, yes. Dig said if you look at their want list for the High Republic crap they're doing for Star Wars, you can tell it's all based on their favorite movies. Yeah, well, you also saw on that list, that dry erase board, you saw like all their dinosaurs, or in Star
Hey,
Wars.
does one of you got a Star Wars trash compactor?
Oh, that would be
It sounds like a Star Wars trash compactor or something.
That's my heater. Yeah, my heater just came on.
Damn, you got a heater from Star Wars?
Crap, man. It sounded like a jet taking off.
Yeah, cost extra for that Star Wars sounding heating unit.
Yeah, I think Han just got frozen in carbonite.
Well, yeah, it could sound like
pretty good sound. I
it
can't believe
did
you
sound like that too.
the mic.
Next time it turns on, you should record that sound and use it.
I use it, yeah.
Yes.
That would, yeah, make a great sound effect.
Matter of fact, go back and soundbite it from here.
Yeah. If you guys can hear it, you can pick it up.
Yeah, I heard it.
I feel like I just went to warp speed.
Yeah, Sal makes a good point too that Worf would have been a good show. Yeah, I would love to have seen Worf in this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe season 2, but they'll probably ruin him. Although I don't know, they did do Riker. I thought they did a good job with Riker. I don't think they ruined his character. I mean, he wasn't in it much, but
Yeah.
Data was hardly in it at all, and they ended up killing him off.
Yeah, like ritual suicide or whatever that shit was.
Yeah.
God.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't want to see Worf, but I thought they did a good job with Riker, though. I thought Riker.
Here's my question.
They would bring back Worf, and Worf would get into a relationship with Rios. Is probably what would happen.
Here's my thing about Data. Data being stored in that freaking computer. Why'd they keep him in there? Why didn't they just put him into a synthetic body?
Well, yeah, exactly. Why not do the same thing they did with Picard?
Well, they could have made one of those mechanical ones real easy. Why didn't they just transfer him over?
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Why didn't they bring him? Yeah.
So here's the thing.
They just kept him in that that holding whatever that was called. What did they call it?
The quantum
reality or quantum realm?
Quantum simulation.
Yeah, quantum simulation.
Wow.
Yeah, why leave him in there? Why not just take him out in the first place and put him in a body again? It didn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense. I will give them some grudging credit, though, in that Data did explain that the memories came from B4. So, I mean, they've shoehorned that other stupid bullshit in with, like, the quantum particle, positronic particle, or whatever. But I'm sure that was probably a Brent Spiner saying, look, guys, this is stupid. This is not... The fans are not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my theory anyway. But
that could be,
man.
yeah.
Oh man, he came and Brent Spiner came back just to make the fan. Well, I mean, I'm sure he came back just to get a paycheck too, but he came back to make the fans happy. And oh my god, to get sucked into a shitty show like that.
Oh yeah.
Because Data got killed by the aliens in Independence Day. Yeah,
No, he didn't get killed. He came back in the
that's
sequel. He
right.
was in
Yeah,
a
he came
coma.
back in the sequel. Yeah, he just got like possessed by them briefly.
Yep.
But he comes back and what was Independence Day 2 called?
Independence Day Redux, Independence Day Revolutions.
Extermination or something like that. I don't remember. It wasn't as good.
You
Yeah.
think I'd remember it because I have it on Voodoo.
Yeah, I watched it mainly because it was Goldblum was in it,
Yeah, same.
but it wasn't as good. Even with Goldblum, it wasn't as good.
No, it was not. It was yeah, it was pretty bad. And then the Jat Vash storyline didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot. Now, who knows? Maybe they'll somehow pick some of the stuff up in season 2, but they didn't take it anywhere in season 1.
No.
It's kind of how the new Bad Boys movie just kind of came and went, and nothing really became of it. You would have think they would have advertised the hell of it, you know?
Yeah.
You would think, but they didn't. I don't even know whether it's good or not because I haven't really heard of anyone talking about it really. Let's see. Could have swore I had that on Voodoo. Because I have the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, overall, it was just lackluster, and it had moments here and there, but they were few and far between.
Yep. I'm gonna have to give this one
the Quest for Peace. That was Superman 4.
Yeah, that was really bad. Also.
Yeah.
So this is more excited for the sequel to Hollywood after they all go bankrupt. Hollywood 2. Hollywood.
Oh, Independence Day Resurgent.
Oh, Resurgence. That's it. Yeah, Resurgence.
I had the right first letter.
Liam Hemsworth was in that one.
Yeah, he took over for the main pilot role because they killed Will Smith off screen.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked his role in that, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was fine.
But they also had the guy that was playing Will Smith's son that was in there too.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, why did they get Will Smith back is kind of crazy.
That's the problem with sequels. You run the chances of it sometimes not being as good as the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time they aren't.
No. Yeah, most of the time they're not.
Yeah, I think Star Trek 2 and well, I mean, I liked 1 and 2. They're
the
different.
New ones, you mean?
No, the old ones.
Wrath of Khan? Yeah, Wrath of Khan.
And
Empire... one is okay. One's a little different, but it's not bad.
Yeah, there are things I liked about it. I liked the transporter accident. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, these guys aren't ready for this threat.
No.
And then Kirk fucking up, and the part where that was the most Trek part of the entire motion picture was when they said no casualties, Captain, and McCoy says, "Wrong, Captain, sir. There is a casualty. My wits, as in scared out of them."
Yes. Great moment. Great moment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking believable.
Yeah. So this is a 3 out of 10 for me, I think.
Yeah, I would say 3 out of 10.
Yeah, because it was too long. There wasn't enough to go on. There was a few moments in between.
Grumpy Gamer says sequels are good only in porn, I guess. I mean, I could watch Russian Institute 17, but I can't stand Disney Wars sequel. Yeah, I think he's onto something there. Only porn sequels are good.
Yeah, porn sequels.
Yeah.
I gotta say that's probably accurate. Maybe we need to have some people that make porn movies go in there and make Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, they do a better job of
that might be a little
porn
better.
parody.
Yeah, a
than they
little
do
bit more,
with the
a little more entertaining.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
And you know,
that's a good point too that you were making. Well, not with the porn, but with like McCoy's, character in the movie. It's just the overall the writing. Those characters, like McCoy's character is brilliant. So is Spock. They're all so well done and developed so well.
it was like clickety clack. It snapped into place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they just don't. The new ones just
man,
don't do that.
things are not clicking.
I mean, I thought the new movies that JJ did were actually better. The casting, at least, was, it was pretty good.
Yeah, the casting,
Chemistry was pretty good. Like I thought, what's his name was a really good Kirk. He was a good choice. God, I can't think of his name right now.
William Shatner?
No. The movies that JJ did.
Oh, Chris Pine?
Yeah, Chris Pine. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
thought
him.
he was a good choice for Kirk. I mean, he looks like Shatner, young Shatner. He had the same qualities. Spock was good. Zachary, I thought was a good choice for Spock.
Mm-hmm.
They had nice choices for them all. But this show, there's just the characters. Just there's not much there that I care about. From the new characters that were introduced in Picard.
This is a weird thing that's maybe only me, but in the JJ movies, okay, so Kirk has very blue eyes in the JJ movies, but Kirk in TOS has hazel eyes, and I found it distracting. I think they should have given Chris Pine contact lenses.
Yeah, to make it a little more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because William Shatner's eyes are hazel green blue. And at times his eyes look more greenish brown than green blue.
Yeah.
Because my eyes are hazel. My eyes are hazel between gold, brown, and green. And when I get kind of irritated, my eyes turn kind of bright greenish yellow.
Yeah, I mean, little things here and there. I mean, I didn't like the way they handled Khan.
That was
Into Darkness.
Yeah, and see, that's exactly the kind of thing that we're getting in these new series, amped up times 1,000. Like, okay, pick a lane. You got like George Harrison. Leave him as George Harrison. Don't make him Khan. He would have worked better as George Harrison.
Yeah.
Or whatever the name of his character was. Something Harrison.
Yeah, George Harrison's the Beatle, but
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, things were changed here and there. So by no means were the JJ movies perfect, or but they were at least, I thought, better than what we're getting now.
Oh yeah, they're definitely better than
Picard and I guess Discovery. I haven't even watched Discovery, so I can't really comment on that. But from what everyone else has been saying,
Yeah. Well, again, missed opportunities. They had some interesting ideas that they could have explored, but as a Trek fan, you're like, oh, they're going to be in a parallel universe, or oh, they've got time travel, so that's gonna be what undoes everything on how they've messed up canon and the storyline. Nope, didn't do any of that stuff. It's like, that's what they did with it? Basically, kind of the same deflated balloon that we got here at the end of Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's not only dumb, but it's dumber than anything I could possibly have imagined.
It makes Dumber and Dumber look smart.
Yeah.
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 Geez, are we holding a funeral for it or something? Kind of feels that way. We light some candles.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we need to, buy some flowers and throw them in front of the Paramount lot or something.
Yeah.
Someone should write a obituary for Star Trek after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put one of those little crosses, with the
Yeah.
candles and a bouquet of flowers.
Here lies Star Trek.
Yep. Have a picture of Gene
great.
Roddenberry in like the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh man. Boy, if Gene's got to be mad. Mm-mm.
It has succumbed to its disease of SJWism.
Well, basically, when board members of corporation realize they're just bleeding money, I mean, they're literally going to have to lose their shorts, because they're just bleeding money, and it's like, okay, like this isn't as good and great as you say it is. Your numbers aren't as good as you're saying they are. And episodes are getting mixed reviews. And the ones that were mostly liked were the ones that had Picard, that had Riker in it, and the ones that had 7 to 9 in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Egypt scene where they killed Egypt, man, the ratings on that one were bad. That pissed people off. I'm still pissed off about that.
I think Chabon mentioned something about that in his interview, right? That they knew it was going to upset fans, and
they still did it anyway.
Yep.
So that should just tell you right there that they don't care. They don't care about canon. They don't care about respecting a written character. And as far as I know, that lady still hasn't been paid for her character that they put in.
Yeah, Melinda Snodgrass. Yeah, for Bruce Maddox. Yep. Well, yeah, that exactly. I mean, so in addition to the poor writing, they're boosting stuff from other IPs, and
because she's probably going to have to file a complaint with her guild.
I hope she does, because they trashed and killed her character off. The least they could do is pay her for it.
Yeah.
Do you think Picard would have a problem? So Picard was, at one point he was part of the Borg, right? Do you think he would have a problem being part android?
Now
I know the Borg in the end, are not exactly the same as androids.
It's a good point.
I just wonder, would he have a problem?
I would think he would. I would think that he would have preferred to have died.
Yeah. Then coming back as a part machine. I don't know. I just thought of that.
Really bizarre and somewhat disturbing that they did that. The more I think about it, the more it bothers me.
Like, they brought him back, but it's not his body. It's an android body. It's a mix. It's half human, half android. But that's kind of what the Borg are.
And I'm getting the impression that they're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Because they're going to scan him and all that, and he's going to read biologically him.
Yeah, it's going to be like Juliana Hatfield or whatever. Yeah. But they didn't mention her. So, they pulled it out of their asses.
So many story avenues that they were going to go. And, those story avenues just stopped. So is it something that they think we're going to be interested in season 2 when they really didn't fulfill any of those story avenues? They didn't complete any of those, and they just left them kind of hanging. Well, we got a Borg queen. No, we don't. She was a Borg queen. Now she's not. Okay. So, yeah. I
You
was
think that whole, I mean, how long did the series take to build up this Borg cube that was coming back into power, and
yeah.
and then within one episode it gets taken down by freaking orchids,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like,
I
the
don't
whole.
I don't I don't know if you guys check out Trek Yards, but they were talking about one of the episodes, and they were talking about the tricorder that we talked about,
Oh, they were.
and yeah, and they found some really cool
What site is
images.
this?
Trek Yards
Trek
YouTube
Yard.
channel. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
YouTube.
They talk about it. They talk mostly what they do is they talk about all the ships. They know ship lore and stuff like that.
Okay.
And normally
Subscribe to them right now.
they're liking what's going on, but it
Oh, they are
seems
liking it. They're liking it.
yeah they are. And there's some things that they're not liking though. I've
Mm.
noticed they didn't.
Oh, I see they did a video on the old.
I don't know if you noticed, but they almost do eye rolls when they're checking out some of the stuff that Picard's doing. But they are pretty much kind of liking it, I guess.
Yeah, Trek Yards, they they're kind of fanboy a little bit.
Yeah, they have to be fanboys if they're liking this, because.
Yeah. And hey, if they want to like it, that's fine with
Oh,
me.
yeah,
But
I mean,
I like all the other stuff they do with ships. They do ship lore stuff like that. They find images of ships, and that's pretty cool. I like that.
Oh, they even did a transwarp comparison from Picard and Voyager. We mentioned that too.
Yeah, and I guarantee you they weren't happy about it, and they probably visibly showed it in their face, but they probably didn't say nothing.
They did. Yeah.
I mean, because they look nothing alike. It's like, okay, this is unfamiliar to me. This is not Star Trek as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it's like bumpy and
not.
slammy, and I was like, no, a transwarp corridor was smooth sailing once you were in it. There was no
like
turbulence. Crap.
Pretty instantaneous, wasn't it?
Long distances. It was pretty because the Voyager traveled for quite a few light years.
Scruffy Gamer says, I haven't even started watching The Rise of Skywalker. I'm treating it as a pile of dog crap. I'm hoping the rain will wash it away so I don't have to look at it. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Oh, what do you say there? He has an artificial heart. I wonder about one thing. He had this artificial heart before assimilation. This was a technology obviously infested with nanoprobes. If they put both to sleep in Best of Worlds, why didn't that artificial heart stop as well? Well, maybe it did.
Interesting.
Huh. I had never thought of that.
So are they because it was some weird vibranium or something like that, weird metal, and because his heart was replaced in a procedure, if you remember correctly, in the Next Generation, where he almost died during that procedure. So was it replaced then, or was it replaced when he was a Borg?
I think maybe Discovery has the answer. His heart's magnetized.
So it's magnetized?
Yeah, because in the Star Trek Discovery, they had like nanobots from the AI that wants to be an AI but isn't an AI, called Control. And they infested a human and took over a human body, and the way they got rid of him was by magnetizing the floor.
Yeah.
Which is convoluted and crazy and kind of dumb. But if that's considered canon, hey. I mean, Picard's a robot now, so, I mean, that's canon.
Right.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, jeez.
The best of both worlds. Why didn't that artificial heart stop as well?
Interesting.
It is. I hadn't thought about it.
Oh.
Well, I mean, his
Random Brad's gonna take you off. Gonna take you off.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Don't pay for it, Random Brad. Don't do that. Boy, if they gave this away for free and people like us that watched Discovery and didn't like it, suddenly get CBS All Access to watch it for free just to see what it's all about. Holy fucking shit! They think
Hey,
they're getting hate now.
you know one of them gift cards where you put the Visa in your name? Use one of those and get 30 days free because you don't have to put nothing in that card, but maybe
Yep.
$1 so that way it can verify or something. And then you don't have to worry about it charging you because it's not going to be able to because there's nothing in there. And you can watch 30 days for free on CBS All Access.
Yeah, get a money card. In fact, I was thinking about it's probably a good idea just to have one of those anyway.
Like a gift card?
Yeah, a gift card or a Walmart money card or something like that.
Yeah. Do they accept those? Some of the websites, I don't know if they accept that.
You can apply for one of those through Global.
If it goes through the Visa system, I believe it still checks out.
Yeah. I guess you'd still get charged for. Well, as long as there's some money on it. Yeah, I don't know. That's something worth trying.
Yeah. Basically, you just make sure you got a couple dollars in there because when you put your card on there, the only thing they're going to do is they're going to verify if it's got money in the account. And it's going to use
Yeah.
$1 to do it.
Yeah.
And then when it tries to charge that card, it won't be able to.
Yep.
Because there's no money in it. I heard old dun 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 cowboy music.
Oh yeah, that's the. I've got the original series in the background.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Sometimes old Western styles were included in Star Trek a little bit in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, it's been hour and 44 minutes, and what do you think about wrapping it up, fellas?
I think it's probably a good idea.
I think we've banged our head on it enough.
Yeah.
We've beaten the dead horse, or they've beaten the dead horse, and I don't know, man. We've commented on the dead horse.
Well,
they're gonna bring that dead horse back in a robo body, so
exactly. Yeah, robo body with a positronic brain.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, chat, thanks for banging our heads on us all banging our heads on the wall together on this one here.
Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in.
We appreciate you.
Late night hanging out.
Yeah.
Commiserating with us.
Commiseration, that's big. I think that it was needed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, right now here in Washington, there is no lockdown order. You're allowed to go for a walk. Go to the store if you need to. And honestly, I went out and about, and it looked like business as usual, kind of.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah. And Christy said that she almost got a ticket because they wanted. She's in Texas, I think, and apparently, I guess they're locked down where she's at. And she had to get a thing from her work stating her work hours was back and forth and all that. And I guess they're cracking down in Texas.
Yeah, that's crazy. Texas has stricter rules than Washington or California, or I guess.
I just want to point something out that these cities that they're locking down are all coastal cities.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know that basically on the border there's 100-mile. Basically, there's certain types of law enforcement that can operate freely on 100 miles inland from the coast. Bet you didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's a little unknown thing. Basically, federal police can basically operate unhindered almost.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. I have heard that before.
So basically what that applies to is border patrol.
Yeah.
100 miles in, Border Patrol can pretty much do almost anything if they chose to. Basically 100 miles in, if they Border Patrol chose to stop you and check you and all, and they technically really could make your life miserable for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yep.
And there's those YouTube channels that do what do you call it? Constitution checks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've
Kinda,
seen
they
some of them.
push things to a certain degree. And
How
interesting.
much they like get away with before they get stopped.
Audits. They're called audits. Constitution audits. There we go. That's what they like to call them. Or police audits, where they see if the police will actually do their job and be knowledgeable of what the Constitution says.
Interesting.
Yeah. You got lots of those. I've seen a lot of them. Some of them not so bright, though.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Some of them create some of their own legal problems.
I know what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, here's the thing, man. Just because they're police, it doesn't mean they're not human. They're human too. They're going to respond and act according to their parts, the way they're made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true.
And being a police officer is a high stress job anyway. Don't piss off the cop, man. Come on.
Gosh, don't press your luck.
Yeah, don't do that.
Someone who's already got a stressful job and is on edge,
Right.
on on alert all the time. Like
Yeah.
you're really gonna mess around and push buttons and
Yeah.
Easy way to get your, you don't want. They've got all the power in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, they do.
So, being a dick to the cop really isn't such a good idea.
No,
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah. Yes, sir. No, sir. Oh, officer. My Second Amendment and this court decision says this. Were you aware of that? Let me get a supervisor. That's a better way to handle it.
Yeah.
Right. Nice
We
calm.
see. I would like to see some of these guys. Okay, go to Chicago and do a Constitution audit.
Yeah, you try that.
And try that and see what happens.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yikes.
Because I remember my dad told me one time, don't mess around Chicago. Don't ever run from a Chicago cop. Child cop talks to you, yes sir, no sir, and don't talk to him unless he's asking you questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good advice. Okay.
Absolutely.
That'll keep you out of trouble, out of jail, and out of the grave.
So how's the toilet paper situation where you're at, Random Brad? I've had to order it just to have any, because there was none on the store shelves.
Yeah, it's been iffy here too. It's off and on.
I don't know if you got the email, but from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., that is the time slot where older people can go in and do shopping, and the store's only open to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have that here too. Yeah.
And then after that, everyone else go in. And they're closing at 8:30. The Walmart
Stores?
in
Oh,
Marion.
yeah, I think they're closing early here too. Yeah. I did finally get some. Well, I'm waiting on. I ordered some stuff from Walmart, and it's been getting like 3 different deliveries in 3 different days, but it's taken. I think I got to still wait 3 more days, or let's see, what's today's date now? 26 now. Yeah, I think it's like the 29th of my first box, but it's been over a week since I ordered it.
Did you order through grocery site or did you order through
Through their
online
site? Yeah, through their online site.
Because they got 2 sites.
What's their other site?
Grocery site. Do you have the app installed?
Though, is it a Walmart app?
Yeah.
No, I just went to their website.
Yeah, well, on their website, there's supposed to be a way where you can use grocery site too. Basically install the app on your phone and then log in onto your phone, and it'll give you a choice: groceries or online. Walmart shopping online. Basically, what you do is you choose online, and the nearest, you choose the nearest Walmart to you for pickup. You can pick up at any Walmart where you're at, but if you want delivery, it'll tell you it's like $9 for delivery.
I think it's free if you order over $35.
That's for pickup.
No, that's for delivery.
Delivery?
Yeah.
I ordered more than that, and it was still $9.
Oh, I got free delivery because I ordered one of my orders. I just had like 3 things, and they're like, "Oh, it's like another $4 and you get free delivery." And I looked, and it was like, "Oh, I need to get basically $35 worth," and they offer free delivery. Maybe that's a regional thing. Maybe that's just where I am. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they were doing that with.
Oh.
They were offering a membership.
No, it wasn't a membership. It was just
they basically offered me a trial to get something free. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. All you gotta do is put down your credit card.
And I have card attached to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like they're not gonna it's not a subscription. Yeah.
Right. But they do have it's a subscription service for ordering grocery site online. I don't remember all the details of it because it's not something I was interested in. So I didn't store it for later thought and consumption. But grocery side, normally the next day, if there's a spot open, if I were you, just go and put an order in a grocery side. You can probably pick it up tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
If you need something in a grocery side, you gotta do $30 or over on a grocery side.
Oh, okay.
And you can go pick it up if you so choose, or you can basically deliver to them. Have them deliver to you. My last one, I had them deliver.
Yeah, I just chose delivery for the 3, but it's also taken at least a week. So, here's a good little fun fact I just saw on Twitter. So we're talking about this. Today marks the 15-year anniversary since Doctor Who returned.
Oh wow!
2005. Yeah. If it wasn't for this, interesting. The 15-year anniversary of when Doctor Who came back. There we go, bringing it all full circle.
Yep. Wow.
All right, well, Bear, do you want to end the stream? I'm going to head to bed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, guys, plug your channel, and we'll take it out.
Okay, you guys can find me at youtube.com and twitch.com, Wes Moody Webcast, and on bitshoot.com. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk. I'll vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it's my webcast. Thank you, my friends.
I like that. Final Death Star, you can find me at Final Death Star on YouTube. Also, Final Death Star 1 on Twitter. Also on the Fourth Wave with my fellow Fourth Waver Bear and Sporking New Podcast, author Stephen Walton and Immortal Coil, and then other guests we have. We do shows on Saturday at like 3 to 4 usually, and then the late edition later on in the nighttime on Saturday as well.
Yep.
So check us out there, and on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and you can find all the Fourth Wave channels in the info below. That's where you can find all the information at. Their links are linked below. And those that rub elbows with us too are linked below as well. And be sure to check them out and sub to their channels. And thank you for hanging out with us and commiserating. Because without the chat, it just wouldn't be fun. Because we interact and all that stuff and have fun and answer your questions. And a lot of times the chat brings a lot of good little morsels to us. So hail to you, hail to the Phantom Menace, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Take us out. Make it so.